So I've looked at some fairly smooth up and overs, sort of a trail sentry type trail, big rollers effectively, then into some more technical route, naturally caused banks and things like that. Here we've got a feature of a trail that perhaps wasn't here when the trail was first created, more a result of nature's course of time. A fallen tree, up and over a root ball. A lot of trails will feature something like this. Gets a little bit more technical. As we're coming in, visually far more intimidating. There's a lot more to do within the section, or where the sections overlap, in that obviously the bike's we've got a nice transition. We can pump the bike up to this point. Here we've got a slight directional change, and again the unsightedness of the trail below, I only get a vision of it as I crest the top of the fallen tree and the root ball. We've got quite a step down the other side there, so any over rotation is going to be severely punished. So although I'm going to drive energy through hill and wrist and stand up as I level off, if I get up onto my toes and look down and blip the brakes, I'm going to start to rotate forward and cause myself issues with this sharper transition on the way out. So commitment, big factor. I've got to get the necessary speed to get up to this point with a little bit of momentum. I don't want to stall here and have to dab, and once I've taken my feet off the pedals, getting down the other side is going to be pretty tricky. Having said that, I don't want to go in here too hot so that my front wheel falls off the edge before I'm ready to adjust and sink deep into the pocket to accommodate the bike rotating forwards and down. So we've got an upslope where I'm going to drive through. We're going to come to a little through here with a little bit of momentum, ready to sink down into the pocket. And this is where, using the pocket analogy of up and down and just behind the centre line, rather than stretching all the way out the back, up to centre and out the back again, is going to be much more useful in terms of successfully negotiating this and keeping our body in a good strong position on the bike, rather than getting pushed by either, in this case, the bike stalling, or in this case on the other side, the bike tipping forwards. We want to stay nice and firm in the pocket. Heel and wrist are going to help, keeping those eyes up. Again, dropping that head and looking down here at this point is going to be problematic. So with a little bit of commitment as I come through into the entry point, carry that commitment up into the section, exit, entry into the next section and down, keeping those eyes up, keeping all the physical attributes working for me, and just keeping a check on the naysayer in the brain that asks the questions of should we be doing this. Keep the positive thoughts, think ahead, think through, carry some momentum, take the right entry speed, good little bit of energy management, footwork, body position and looking, and we should be able to smooth out this section without too much bother. What looks pretty intimidating is actually the faster line through here, rather than wiggling around the outside of this. And it's going to be a nice little achievement if we can just carry this section, this technical section, without any untoward stoppages. So by driving the bike up the upslope with heel and wrist drop and pumping up the upslope, we're just going to soften off at the top. Where we've pushed through, we're going to centre back up. But as I centre back up on this top point, the front wheel is already starting to drop down, and that's where I've got to watch out for that push and not drop my toes too much and become the accelerating mass. So it's heel on the way up, levelling as we get to the top and dropping back in as we come back down the other side. If I get to the top part, look down, drop my toes, lift my heels, everything starts to rotate forward. And although I can roll down this, I don't want to jam my wheel, stall my front wheel, or even lead to a point at which my body asks the question of my brain, hey ho, we're going a bit wrong here, we're getting a bit vertical, and dabbing that brake through a comfort brake, which could cause a lot of problems if we hit the brake at the wrong time there. So although we come to almost a stop at the top, we're keeping nice and fluid and then accelerating down the downslope, sinking deep into the pocket, and all importantly keeping the upper body form that we don't get pushed forward. We keep our hips behind our heels, our shoulders as much as we can above our hips, drop those heels and wrists and stay in the pocket and drive on through. Up and overs needn't be a stalling point in your ride. In fact, we can generate some speed even on these transitions. There's speed to be generated on the way back out, pumping out of the outslope, pumping up the inslope. Rather than taking the long route round, just get used to getting up and over. Get the eyes to look up and through, not down and in to the drops or into the face of the climbs on the front side, and you should find your trail riding is more fluid, more fun and less stilted and stop-start. Get out there, enjoy those trails, make the most of the conditions, and we'll see you in a couple of months' time.